Hello. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yes, hello everyone. Now I am live. Actually, due to some problem, actually there are a network issue. You can say we are little bit late. If you have any queries, you can ask me questions. Already I have seen there are some few questions. If you have any questions, anything in your mind, you can ask me. Now I am live. So first of all, I want to introduce myself. You know very well actually who I am because I am the course coordinator of welding application technology, you can say. So I am Dr. Pankaj Biswas. I am the professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Guwahati. So if you have any queries, you can ask me questions. I am live now. Om Prakash, Golu Kumar, Akhilesh, who are in live. But right now, if you have any questions, anything in your mind related to this course, you can ask me. Now, just I want to introduce little bit about this course. You all know very well about this course till now. Generally, in this course, I try to cover, you can say, some very important welding technology. In this welding technology, I covered physics, principle, its application, its advantage, drawback, and what are the important aspect related to those welding, that related things in detail I discuss. Especially in this course, I try to cover those welding process which are widely used in, you can say, industry. Like here, you will get a feel of different types of fusion welding process. That means you can say it's a liquid state welding process. You will feel the taste of some other welding process, like here in this course, you will get the taste of solid state welding process. That is, you can say, friction state welding process. Apart from this thing, in this course, I try to cover the solid liquid state welding process related things like soldering and brazing. Now, in this course, you already very well familiar about different types of fusion welding process, especially those fusion welding process which have a huge impact in the field of industry. Now, what is fusion welding process? That is also very well known to you. Fusion welding process means where the, you can say, base material goes beyond its melting point temperature. That means to do the welding process here, the temperature rise of base material is beyond its melting point temperature. So that is very well known to you. Now, this fusion welding process, apart from this fusion welding process, here I have discussed about the solid state welding process, especially friction welding process. Here I discuss in detail. In friction welding process, one of the major category of friction stir welding process, that related things also I discussed. In friction stir welding process also, what are the different categories of friction stir welding process are there, that related things also in details I discuss. Hello, am I live now? Okay, fine. Actually, nobody is there. That's why actually I was thinking whether. Okay, 12 people watching me, but they have no question, no problem. I'll see. So actually, in solid state welding process, I try to cover friction stir welding process in details. There I have shown you that what are the different categories of friction stir welding process are there. There I have shown that friction stir welding process have different categories. You can say around 10 to 15 different types of categories of friction stir welding process are there. Apart from these things, here I discuss about, in this course I discuss about solid liquid state welding process. Solid liquid state welding process, you are very well familiar. That means here generally one of the part is in solid state and one of the part is in liquid state. Like in circuit board, generally the filler wire is a melting state, whereas circuit board is in solid state. So especially soldering and brazing, these two welding process which is in the categories of solid liquid state. So apart from these things, in this course you will get the taste of the most important aspects, you can say, related to welding process, which is a, you can say, major drawback of a welding process, that is actually well induced residual stress and its deformation or distortion. So in this course I discuss in details about the different types of what it's called residual stress measurement techniques in detail. Actually here I discussed in details how to calculate residual stress, how to measure residual stress. There I covered most of the popularly used residual stress measuring techniques in details. Like in residual stress measurement techniques, I discuss about destructive types of residual stress measurement technique, semi-destructive types of residual stress, that related things in details I discuss. Apart from these things, here in this course, you will get the taste of how we can mitigate this residual stress. Mitigate in the sense how we can minimize or reduce the residual stress, because residual stress is not good for welding. What I'm telling, understand? In a particular structure, residual stress is not good. That is very well known to you, because especially tensile types of residual stress reduce the fatigue life of a structure drastically. So that's why how we can minimize or reduce, or you can say mitigate the residual stress or eliminate the residual stress, that related things in details I discuss in this course. Apart from this, in this course also I discuss in details about the what it's called residual deformation, or you can say distortion in welding. So here I discuss the basic fundamental behind distortion generation in case of a welding structure, how the distortion is coming into picture in a welding structure, what are the different categories of what it's called residual deformation or distortion in a welded structure, and how we can minimize this distortion in details I have discussed in this course. And its basic fundamental related to distortion also you will get from this course. Apart from these things, how we can measure the distortion and how we can mitigate or minimize this distortion in details I have discussed in this course. At the end of this course, I have discussed about the what it's called design and analysis aspects related to welded joint. That related things also in details I have discussed. Here I have covered some basic fundamental related to static analysis and design of welded structure. Like here you will get the idea about design and analysis of part and fillet welded joint. Here you will get the idea about strength calculation of parallel and transverse plate weld. Here you will get the idea about analysis of eccentrically loaded welded joint. Apart from these things, here I also discuss about analysis of welded joint subjected to some bending moment. So in details, actually I have discussed about these aspects in this course. Now, if you have any queries, anything in your mind, you can ask me. Like Rupesh Kumar. Rupesh, do you have any queries, anything in your mind? You can ask me, right? Rupesh is in live now. Rupesh, if you have any queries, you can ask me. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me. I am live now. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me. Yes. One of the candidates asked me a question uh, related to friction stir welding process. Yes. If you have any question, you can ask me. I think Rupesh is writing something. Rupesh, do you have any queries? You can ask me. Yes. One of the student asked me a question related to what it's called solid state welding process. That is actually friction stir welding process. He asked me what are the basic of friction stir welding process. Now, basics of friction stir welding process in the sense, actually, you know that welding process, depending upon the phases, you can say you can categorize into three major different categories. One is called liquid state welding process. That is means that already I have told you. That is all fusion welding process is a liquid state welding process. Another one is solid state welding process. Another one is solid liquid state welding process. This solid state welding process, generally this what it's called a friction stir welding process is come into picture. So here generally in friction stir welding process, the temperature of you can say parent material for doing welding does not goes beyond its melting point temperature. Here generally temperature required to join the welding process is within a range of what it's called 80% of its melting point temperature. What does it mean? 80% of its melting point temperature means here the temperature required to do the welding is within a range of what it's called 80% of its melting point temperature. Melting point temperature means here the temperature, if a material have a melting point of 1000 degrees centigrade, then what happens, you can join this workpiece where the temperature, if it will be 80% means around 800 degrees centigrade, then what happens, you can your material becomes soft enough, it's converted to paste types of plastic state. Due to this thing, generally you can join the workpiece together. Okay, so this is generally is a solid state welding process, this friction stir welding process. Now, this friction stir welding process generally, you can say the have different categories. Like I have already a little bit explained previously, like this friction stir welding can be a continuous drive. Friction welding especially can be continuous drive, it can be rotary types of friction welding process, it can be linear, it can be angular, and it can be radial types of friction welding process. So one of the friction welding process is friction stir welding process. This friction stir welding process again have different categories. What are those different categories? Little bit I will just explain, then it will be more clear to you, because you want to know about friction stir welding process. That's why I am telling. Like you can see, you know that this friction stir welding process can have around 6-7 different categories are there. Like this friction stir welding can be rotary friction stir welding process, it can be self-reacting friction stir welding process, it can be twin stir friction stir welding process, it can be underwater friction stir welding process, and there are another popular categories of friction stir welding process is a stationary solder friction stir welding process. Now, apart from this different friction stir welding process, there also have different categories of hybrid friction stir welding process are there. Hybrid friction stir welding process means here generally when a technique is called hybrid techniques, when in a technique there are two different technology combined together and makes a separate techniques, that technique generally called hybrid welding technique. Like friction stir welding, with this friction stir welding process generally some other technology combined together and makes a separate what it's called joining technique. That is generally called hybrid friction stir welding process. Like with friction stir welding process, once we use some arc to generally soften the material beforehand, especially for high melting point alloy, then that is called generally arc assisted friction stir welding process. If this friction stir welding process we use some laser types of source, a heat source, then what happen, this the combination of laser and friction stir welding process makes a new hybrid FSW process, that is called laser assisted friction stir welding. Similarly, there are some other hybrid friction stir welding process are there, like ultrasonic assisted, electrically assisted, as well as induction assisted friction stir welding process also. Now in detail, generally once we go to discuss about these things, it will take lot of times. In details I have already discussed in this course, you can go through this, because and you will get the detailed idea about all these things. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Do you have any queries? Shantosh, if you have any queries, you can ask me. Dhoni, Selva Kumar, good evening. Do you have any queries? You can ask me. This is a very interesting course, because once you will complete this course, you will really get lot of benefit from this course input. Because in this course, I try to cover different welding process, what I have already told you. In this course, I try to cover different types of drawback related to welding and how we can overcome the drawback. In details, I have discussed in this course. So if you have any queries till now, whatever the portion you cover, you can ask me. You can write it in chat box. I will reply. If you have any queries, anything in your mind, Directly you can ask me. Types of welding method and its details, like I have covered here plasma arc welding process. Here I covered flux core arc welding process. Then I have covered also resistance spot welding process, resistance welding process, and its different categories of resistance welding process in details I have covered. Apart from these things, in this course I have also till now covered about what is called friction stir welding process in details. Also I discuss about brazing and soldering types of process, its details, its physics, its principle, its application, advantage, drawbacks in details I have discussed already. Apart from these things, I have already also discussed about basics of welding induced residual stress and distortion. So these are the things generally I have already covered in this course. So till now, whatever the portion I completed, so if you have any queries, anything in your mind, directly you can ask me, because right now I am in live. So if you have any queries in your mind, you can directly ask me. Okay, so I can answer your query in live itself. Okay, fine. So a little bit more details I am just discussing in this course related things. Like here you see from this course at the end, you will really get that interest to do a further study in welding field, because from this course you will really Yes. So what are the different important topics generally nowadays is in the field of research? That related thing generally I have discussed in this course in details. So here you will really get interest after completion of this course in the field of welding, because in welding field also so many very important research topics are there. If you will work in this field, you will really get lot of interest, and you can gain lot of things from this what is called welding oriented research topics. Because just I want to little bit briefing about what is called welding history types of things. Like you can imagine at the time of Middle Age, you know that this blacksmith of generally during the Middle Age time welded various types of, you can say, iron tool by using hammering. So this welding method remains more or less unchanged, you can say, until the dawn of 19th century, you can say. In late 19th century, little bit this story types of things I am telling, because how the welding nowadays is so popular, how it's gaining this so popularity, that related things just I am just briefing, because that part I have not covered in this course. That's why I'm just telling, so that you can see what is the importance of welding technology nowadays. You can't imagine. Okay, so like in late 19th century, generally you can say when this electricity come into picture, and by electricity once the heat is start developing, you can say that heat generally from that late 19th century onwards, you can say Joule, Lake Clear, these are the different researcher or scientists who develop this electricity and electricity oriented heat, who generally start applying this heat from the electricity in the field of joining purpose. So from that time onwards, you can say this welding by different what it's called different types of what it's called electrically like in early 20th century, generally you can imagine this welding was not trusted, or you can say welding was not allowed to use in the field of industry due to what it's called crack issue, because welding is such a process. Once you do it in a structure, what happens here generally in case of fusion welding process, you can say melting generally it's taking place of this parent material. So melting related different defects generally developed due to welding process. But what happens, these defects generally break the structural integrity, you can say. This generally destroy the continuity of the material. So that's why what happens, prior to First World War, welding was not used due to crack issue, because due to this fusion welding process, there can be different types of fusion oriented defect like porosity, blowholes, hot cracking, cold cracking. So many different types of defect are there due to welding, you can't imagine. But nowadays, generally what happens, these welding techniques gain so much of popularity in the field of research as well as in the field of industry. You can't imagine, over 30% expenditure is spent nowadays in the field of welding. And nowadays, wherever you will go, you will feel generally that, okay, what is the importance of a welding process? Because generally in any industry, wherever you will, any manufacturing industry, wherever you will go, you will find there is some quality control department is there. What is the main purpose or motto of this quality control department? Do you have any idea? The main purpose or motto of this quality control department is to check the quality of joint, especially. What I'm telling, understand? Because you see, that most of the drawback in the sense, most of the defect or most of the problem generally arise in the welding joints only. So generally, if the weld quality, weld joint will not be proper, then your final product will not be acceptable. That's why what happens, this quality control department especially check what it's called those different types of defects, and if there will be some defect, then what happens, how we can mitigate the defect or eliminate this defect, and finally how we can accept this product in actual field. What I'm telling, and that related thing generally in quality control department you can say provide. Now that's why what happens, wherever you will go as a mechanical engineer, production engineer, ocean engineer, naval architecture engineer, so in any what it's called manufacturing oriented engineer, wherever you will go, there you will find what is the importance of actually this welding process. So that's why what happens in this course, the course structure is designed in such a way so that you will get a overall idea and what is the importance of this, what it's called overall idea of welding process in the field of research as well as in the field of industry. That related things in details you will get. What I'm telling, understand? So till now, you can't imagine, if you will be in a manufacturing industry, the most of the queries, most of the problem generally you will face for joining, or you can say for manufacturing the final product with the help of welding process, because the different types of defect, different types of drawbacks which is arise in a structure to give the final shape, generally what happens from this welding process. That's why welding related these fundamentals, welding related this basic, if you will have, you will really benefited, you will be really benefited from this course material. What I am telling, understand? Santosh Kumar. if you have any question, bhai, you can ask me. Santosh, do you have any queries? If you have any queries, you can ask.
Sir, can we get the notes of this course, sir?
Definitely, you will get everything. Because you see, I have already provided the detailed notes. It's PDF format. So this NPTEL team will provide you the detailed note.
Okay,
Okay.
sir, thank you.
If you have any queries other than this note related thing, you can ask me. If you have till now whatever the portion you covered, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, any things,
That's
because
fine, sir. Thank
till now whatever the portion I covered, what I feel, in this portion you will get the idea about different types of what is called welding process in details. Especially I covered three different categories of welding process depending upon the phases. Generally, welding can be categorized into three different categories. What are those different categories? One is called, you can say, solid state welding process. Another one is called liquid state welding process, and another one is called solid liquid state welding process. So, in details about these categories, I have already covered till now. After that, the idea about what is called welding induced residual stress and its distortion and its fundamentals and its measuring techniques in details actually I have discussed in rest of the courses. And at the end also you will get how to design a welded joint or welded structure which is subjected to eccentric type of loading, which is subjected to bending types of loading. So in details, I have discussed in this course. So this course is designed in such a way you will really feel that okay, in this course you will there are not only different theoretical aspects. In this course, generally there are, you can say, there are a lot of numerical as well as analytical part also are there. So that's why what happened. This course really give you a very interesting types of outcome once you will complete this course. So you see, till now the portion which you have covered, I think on that there are no queries. But after that, generally, once we'll come into the other topics like well-induced residual stress, its fundamental, then well-induced distortion and its fundamental, then well-induced residual stress and distortion measuring techniques and its details mathematical as well as theoretical approach beyond this what it's called well-induced residual stress and its distortion. And also you will find in this course about what it's called well-induced this residual stress and distortion mitigation techniques related things in details. So till now, whatever the portion I covered, I think you don't have any queries. So if you don't have any queries, because I have seen There are no queries in this what is called Excel file which we have provided you. So there are no queries, as well as till now also you don't have any queries. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Now little bit related to welding, related to this course assessment procedure, I am just going to tell. Like in this course generally will be it's a continuous assessment course, you can say, because throughout the entire course there will be some marks, you can say, because at the end of every week there will be assignment. In this assignment there will be some portion of marks. So in this course there are 8 weeks, so eight different assignment will be there. From this assignment some portion of marks will be you can say counting at the end of your you can say grading, or at the end of your course, which will be used for grading purpose, you can say. So apart from these things, at the end of this course there will be a exam. That exam will be generally in online mode. The question patterns in this exam will be you can say MCQ type, that you can say. So you need not to worry about what it's called it's a offline types of exam or non-MCQ types of question or not. You need not to worry about all these things. Generally whatever the portion I will be covered in this course, from that portion only you can say your question will come. Yeah, so if you just gather the fundamental then what happens, that is sufficient. If you follow my course content or lecture note thoroughly, then that will be sufficient for final exam as well as for assignment. So this is a continuous assessment course, so be attentive and be regular, because what happens in this course, what happens, you will have a chance to get what is a gold grade or silver types of grade very easily, that you can say, because if you just continuously follow my lecture note and continuously follow these lectures, then what happens is very to get those types of grading. And this course, you can imagine, will really help a lot, what it's called, help a lot at the time of your what it's called job interview, that you can say, because this course is designed such a way you will see that, okay, uh, you will see that during interview time, that means so many question you will get from this course, you can't imagine. Because in this course you will get what it's called the idea about different subject, because welding is such a subject where you will really get the taste of what it's called different science subject. Like here you will find there is application of physics, chemistry, mathematics. So these are the subject is there. Apart from this subject, you will also get the taste of different types of engineering subject. Like here in welding, different types of engineering subjects are required. Like to understand the fundamentals of welding induced distortion, welding induced residual stress, you will see the engineering subject which is very much essential. Those are like solid strength of material, engineering mechanics, then design of machine element, then what it's called material science. So these are the different types of very important subject. Especially engineering subject knowledge is very much essential to understand all these things. So this course generally really is very much important course as a, you can say, manufacturing engineer, what you can say, as a engineer who are involved in different types of manufacturing field. Really this course is very much important course, because if you just, that's why I'm requesting all of you, follow this course thoroughly, be regular, be attentive in this course, you will be really benefited from this course. And I am always with you people. Any times, any queries if you have, you can ask me. So I will share my what it's called email ID as well as my contact number also I will provide you. Personally, if you want to contact with me, you can send me a mail to my official mail ID that you all of you are very well familiar. So from mechanical engineering website itself, you can get my details. So anytimes anything required from my side, you are always welcome. Anytimes you can ask me your queries by sending a mail, sending a mail to me. Okay, so you are always welcome. So I think you don't have any queries today. So if you have any queries later one, so what happens, you need not to wait for this live session. Anytimes you can directly mail me in my official mail ID. I can respond there also. Okay, so thank you so much. I think there are no further queries are there. So shall we leave? Bye. Hello. Hello. I think because no queries are there today, so that's why what happens, whatever the little bit fundamental things and other things I discuss, that is sufficient for today, I think. Okay, so shall I leave? Bye. Thank you very much.